Hello there, Eliza here. Welcome to another episode of Does It Hold Up? This week we'll be looking at Transformers Beast Wars, first two episodes, Beast Wars Parts 1 and 2. Before we begin, I will say one thing. The animation will not hold up to today's standards for CGI. I'm sorry, I needed to get that out of the way ASAP. The animation early on in Beast Wars was rough, and we all know it. However, I am going to still be seeing if the animation, when it comes to scene composition and execution, hold up even if the graphics themselves don't. So without further ado, let us begin watching Transformers Beast Wars Part 1 and 2 to check does it hold up. Hold it! Really quick addendum before we get started. I just wanted to let everyone know that this video is late because everything that could go wrong did. Like, legitimately, I lost files, audio was corrupted, videos were corrupted. I accidentally deleted everything off my hard drive on accident when I was moving stuff to another hard drive. Like, everything that could possibly go wrong in making a video did for this one video. Just wanted to let you all know why this video is 3 weeks late. Anyways, now let's return to the video. Again, we have an opening composed of scenes from the show. There were apparently more of these than I remember. Still, I have to give it credit for not spoiling the big twist of these two episodes in the opening. I also have to give another show credit for having an amazing song. Yes, it only has 2 lyrics, the words Beast Wars being shouted out, but the music behind it is great. Due to copyright reasons, I'm not using the song from the actual show, but I have been using a copyright-free version by Beatgrounds in the background throughout this entire first part. I hope you enjoyed it. Like Ben 10, it starts in space with a battle between 2 ships, but I honestly think the shot composition is better here. You get more different angles and see more debris and fracturing. Even when they shift inside the Axelon to the Maximals, we see them all in darkness, hiding their pre-landing forms. We also learn something about them as well. They are not fighters. They are explorers that just happen to be the only vessel in range. And they are woefully unprepared. And when you think about the amount of protoforms they launched before crashing, they may have been a colony ship. I counted at least 26 pods there, but there might have been more. Meanwhile, aboard the dark side with the Predacons, we get a great introduction to Megatron showing his sadistic nature, choosing to toy with the Maximals before blowing them up, much to the irritation of his lieutenant Dinobot. That proves to be his undoing with one good shot. The Axelon takes down the dark side and both ships crash, mirroring what happens in the Transformers Episode 1, back from G1. Both sides scan the area for beast modes, with the 4 Maximals taking the mammalian forms of a rat, cheetah, gorilla, and rhino, while the 6 Predacons get their form from 3 fossilized creatures, a T-Rex, a quote-unquote Velociraptor, and a Pteranodon, a wasp, and 2 arachnids, a tarantula, and a scorpion. I kind of like how both ships wound up in slightly dangerous areas, with the Axelon landing on a cliff edge and the dark side landing on a magma vent. Also, the fact that Megatron's first question to the computer is asking if they are in the right place, it hints at greater things in play. I kind of like watching them come up with new names for themselves after they get their beast modes, though it does make me wonder what their names were beforehand. Unfortunately, I don't think that question was ever answered in the extended material. The subtle hints at things to come with Rhinox mentioning that transwarp goes through space-time is great foreshadowing. As the show cuts back to the Predacons, we see Dinobot complaining about everything being wrong, once again hinting at the true objective of the Predacons, especially when he says that this can't be Earth. This is the biggest hint at what the Predacons were after. They had stolen a ship with a drive that could go through space and time, and were looking for Earth. If you know Transformers history, you know what place Earth holds in that series. At first, because of these interactions, you think Dinobot is going to be the Starscream of the series, but that notion is immediately pushed aside as he tries to honorably battle Megatron for leadership, only to be blasted away. This is great subversion as well as great setting up of Dinobot's character. He is brave, honorable, and impulsive. It also continues to set up Megatron's deviousness. Back with the Maximals, they continued doing a good job setting up their characters. Rat Trap is a cynic, Cheetor is an impulsive yellow-colored rookie, a common trend in the Transformers franchise, and Rhinox is a level-headed scientist and engineer, and, well, Optimus Primal is a Prime. Like, legitimately, he is just Optimus Prime, but with a different name. I really love the banter. Despite the sometimes stilted first episode script all shows have, we get some great banter and lines that really help define the characters, especially Rat Trap's "we're all gonna die" and Waspinator's tendency to refer to himself in the third person. The animation is also kind of stilted, especially that run cycle they give Cheetor as he is headed for cover. That is rough. I will say I do like his sneak attack on Megatron. The timing on it is perfect, and it also helps set up later things for Cheetor. What is really rough is the full minute for everyone to transform and then just stand there stiffly firing energy blasts for almost another full minute, with only a few seconds of something other than someone standing and firing happening. It is so stilted. Granted, knowing what comes later in the next episode, it was probably done for cost-saving efforts. Again, the writing is what saves the show. The argument between Rat Trap and Optimus Primal is very well written, as is Rhinox just forcing Rat Trap to provide cover fire for Optimus when Optimus goes out to rescue Cheetor. The Energon buildup is a great way to keep them from killing each other, and makes it so they need to go back to base and recover whenever the fighting gets too intense. The first episode also ends on a really decent cliffhanger, with Dinobot not only demanding to join the Maximals, but to be made their leader in challenging Primal to a one-on-one honorable battle. And this is the twist I was talking about. Dinobot switching sides. A thing that is not shown in the intro for the first 2 episodes. In fact, for the first 2 episodes, Dinobot is not seen at all in the opening. If you don't believe me, save your time on the video right now, go back to the beginning of the episode, and watch the full opening that I have towards the beginning. Dinobot does not appear, with a caveat, which, if you then saw him being blasted off towards the start of the episode, could make you think he was actually killed there. Yes, in later versions of the intro he shows up, but for the first episode they specifically made sure to remove any and all scenes with him in it, and I need to call out the cleverness there. Good job, animation directors. Unfortunately, here's the caveat. While that is true for the initial release of the episode, and you can find it in that way on Tubi TV and a few other sites, if you were to look at the DVD version or on YouTube, they don't have the edited for the first 2 episode version of the theme song, aka the uniqueness of having Dinobot not appear in the opening is slowly being removed from versions of Beast Wars. The clever trick they played is being removed, which is unfortunate and depressing. As episode 2 begins, we get 30 seconds or so recapping the last episode, which we didn't need that much to recap it. They could have really cut that down, just showing the ships crashing, forms chosen, Dinobot booted, the battle, and the Maximals encountering Dinobot, but 90s got a 90s. While I do enjoy the stare down between Optimus and Dinobot, how does Dinobot know Primal's name? We saw them choose their names at the start of the first episode, and many of them said their names aloud during the battle, but in both those instances, Dinobot wasn't there. My only explanation is maybe the radios were on and Dinobot managed to listen in on their secure channels. Needless to say, I actually enjoy the fight between Dinobot and Optimus on the rock bridge, and you get to see how some ideologies work, with Optimus refusing to kill Dinobot and Dinobot wanting a fight to the death, which is followed by Dinobot helping Optimus back up after slipping and falling off the cliff, showing off his nobility and honor, giving his character an amazing depth right off the bat. However, when the battle resumes, the animation of the time makes a sword battle limited, but it's still not bad. Though seeing the Predacons' reactions to the battle with Waspinator betting on Optimus, it is actually kind of interesting. Dinobot was one of his former companions and possibly a superior of his, and is a formidable opponent in his own right. And yet Waspinator, who only encountered Optimus in one battle earlier that day, and it wasn't that spectacular, is betting on Optimus. It honestly makes you think there's a glimpse of something more to Waspinator, and I wish they would have followed up on that at some point. Granted, that scene is followed by 30 seconds of the Predacons transforming to act as more filler. Yay! That is an unfortunate trend these 2 episodes are setting, using transformations as time fillers, especially since immediately after they show Optimus transforming quickly to beast mode to get Dinobot out of danger when the Preds fire on them, which is made even more ridiculous when Optimus asks for help quickly while the Preds fire, which is followed by more time-filling transformations. Seriously, they can do them quickly, so whenever they are done slow, it makes you just realize it's time filler. Still, I love them setting up more characterization with Rattrap, mostly his reluctance to get himself hurt. I also kind of love the discussion of honor between Optimus and Dinobot. Again, the writing on this show is great. You also get to see how Optimus is willing to trust Dinobot. It's primally optimistic. Hate me for that pun all you want. I love it. And we get Rattrap's catchphrase again. The unneeded but good fluid movements when Rattrap is speaking using his hands makes the show feel more alive and shows you that they do know what they're doing with the animation style. They also spend time seeding plot lines for later in the series. Why is there so much raw energon? Who made the standing stone structures? The writers know what they're doing in both subtle and direct foreshadowing. One of the things that makes me love Optimus is his willingness to get everyone the benefit of the doubt, but isn't willing to let people step all over him, like when Rattrap continuously questions his authority, and Optimus lets it be known to stop that shit. Now I want to take a quick break to mention something. Transformers has a lot of concepts that carry across all its iterations, and a lot of them don't come from G1 like everyone suspects, but here in the Beast era. In G1, yes, they had energon cubes, but it was something they made by taking other forms of energy and compressing it into the cubes. The concept of raw energon as a crystal comes from here. Beast era also has other concepts that would become staples of the Transformers, and it all starts here with the energon crystals. Back to the show, the Beast Mode battle is hit and miss, with some good bits like that punch that Optimus gives Megatron or Rattrap Bronco busting Tarantulas, and bad bits where they just show a character attacking and cut to a reaction. The best part of it, though, is Def Optimus vs. Megatron, and I love the look of the damage on Primal's leg. The final bit of the fight with Dinobot saving the injured Optimus and then showing us, the audience, how unstable raw energon is, makes it so it's a dangerous resource that they need, but it needs to be refined, otherwise its explosive properties could kill them all. It ending with Megatron being blasted off the cliff and with Optimus declaring to stop Megs and the Preds, and that sick riff as the camera pulls back is a bit cheesy. 90s cheese, but good 90s cheese. And that was Beast Wars episodes 1 and 2. Beast Wars part 1 and 2. So now the question holds, does it hold up? I would say if you view it on the writing, music, and characterization, definitely. On the animation though, that's a bit rougher. It has its highs and lows and uses a lot of cheats, including multiple different things it utilizes to stretch time. Slow transformation scenes, numerous lineup shots, constantly doing zooms on each character. It's padding. A lot of padding. If we remove some of that padding, this could have been a single episode. Granted, it may have been a little too fast-paced if you did that. With that all said, I think it still holds up. I just wish it held up a bit better. I think everyone should give this one a watch. Anyways, before I go, remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the episode. Ring that bell if you want notifications. I have a Twitter if you want to interact with me there, but you need to be 18 plus as I lack a filter. I have a Patreon if you want to support my shows. All those links are in the description. With that all said, I hope to see you all next time when we check which holds up better, the show or my sanity, as we take a look at Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog Episode 1. I hope to see you then.